Let's switch our server over to server validate.js, where we've dropped in the correct check on the field name info here and directory. So I'm going to stop running the regular server here and switch to server validate. That we will see solves the problem when I try to use underscore underscore proto underscore underscore as a name. We get lookup failed now, as we should. Let's go back and try one more thing in the browser. Here in the browser, we reset everything, so I can still look up Alice's information and get that. If I look up Carol, since I restarted the server, Carol's not there. So let's add Carol back. And this time for the phone number, we want to be emphatic, so let's put it in I and close I HTML forms. And when we add that, Carol is added. And now when I look up Carol's email, it's as expected. When I look up Carol's phone, you can see that the phone number comes back in italics. That's not actually what I typed in, and it's possible that's what I meant to happen. But for an interaction of this web page, that's a surprising result. And surprising results often mean bugs and potential security problems. Why does this happen? Well, if we go back to our implementation, then we will see it's because the result web page is built up by taking these strings and putting them together to make some HTML and returning it. And when we build up that HTML, we are taking the info string and just dropping it into the middle, intending it to be literal text, but what we've actually done is drop it in as HTML into the middle of our document. Italicizing a phone number with the I tag is harmless, but it creates room for mischief. The HTML that's dropped in for info might have some embedded JavaScript, for example, and do things in the user's browser that we did not intend it to be able to do and might not be kind to the user. Once again, we have the problem that we're constructing a program as strings and then evaluating the program. In this case, it's an HTML program that's being evaluated on the browser. Also in this case, we don't really have an alternative to eval. We really do have to send that web page to the browser. It really does have to evaluate it. We can do better than constructing the program using strings like this. There are better libraries for creating HTML that would help you put in any sort of string as literal text here, and it would do the right escapes and otherwise protect the text. It depends on what we want to allow as info, though. Maybe we don't really want to let someone enter a phone number with HTML inside of it. So if we want to do that, then what we should do is what server good does, which is whenever it takes some input through add, then it will always sanitize that input. So validation is making sure that some input that you get from a client is valid input. Sanitize refers to input where the user has more choice about what it is, but we still only want to allow a subset of things. So we could reject bad emails or phone numbers, or we could sanitize it by just dropping out any character that's not A through Z, capital A through Z, a number or a period in it. What we're seeing here is called an HTML injection attack. Again, it was because we allowed unsanitized input to flow into our database, and we did not sanitize it when printing it out or injecting it into HTML either. And it could be relatively harmless, like italicizing the numbers, or there could be some embedded JavaScript code or something else that really shouldn't be on our web page. A combination of using better libraries to build up the HTML and sanitizing the input will cut off those kinds of problems.